Today we're going to be reading Queen of Tejano Music, Selena, by Sylvia Lopez, illustrated by Paola Escobar. Do you know who Selena is? Lake Jackson, Texas, 1977. The music coming through the window caught 6-year-old Selena Quintanella's attention. She bounded indoors and raced through the kitchen, staring at her mother, Marcella. "Where are you going, Selly?" Marcella asked. "To sing with them, Mommy," replied Selena. "They sound good." In the living room, Big Brother A.B. strummed the guitar while 9-year-old Suzette beat rhythm on the drums. Their father Abraham had spent weeks teaching his oldest children to play the instruments. It had always gone well. The kids often complained about practicing. They'd rather be out the bright Texas sunshine. But the day they were hitting the right notes of Blue Moon at the time, Selena knew. Using a hairbrush as a pretend microphone, Selena burst into the song. She had been singing almost since she could talk. Abraham, a musician himself, in his younger days, listened most closely. His little girl had performed pitch, and as Selena twirled and danced in step with the music, something else came clear. Selena was performed. So they like playing instruments. Have you ever played an instrument? Sorry about that. The Quintanella's years early on Easter Sunday, April 18, 1971, Marcella and Abraham Quintanella's had thought their third child would be a boy. A nun to be sharing the hospital room and pocket and looking name for her own baby, certain it was a girl. And twist of fate, that Moon had a boy. At a loss of a girl named Marcella, borrowed the clear non's original choice, Selena, which means non-moon goddess. With the growing family, Abraham put away his music dreams and took a job with a chemical company in Lake Jackson, Texas. It was a good place to live. People in different ethnic groups got along well. Some were Hispanics or Latino, mostly Mexicans, American Tajinos like Quintanelas. Neighbors remembered the Quintanelas children as happy and respectful. Selena seemed to have something magical. She had a smile bigger than the life and a voice of match. Selena sang at family gatherings. She sang while walking from walking to and from school. She sang to her classmates at recess. Selena was a good student who could go far. She said, "No one teacher. She could win a college scholarship." Tajinos and Mexicans are two different, just to let you know. A family band. Music was always important to the Quintanelas. By 1830, they had formed a small band called Southern Pearl. The children practiced every day on secondhand equipment in the garage. The walls were lined with carpet pieces so rehearsals wouldn't bother the neighbors. "My children are all talented," Abraham said proudly, and the Selena was stage presence. He arranged the music and booked performances at parties and country fairs. Everybody helped. My mom painted empty coffee cans black to make spotlights, Selena said. In 1980, Abraham quit his job to open a Mexican-style restaurant called Papayas. The band performed there most weekends, intimidating their favorite American pop artists. 9-year-old Selena, clear, strong voice, soared over the clatter of dishes. Then in the early 1980s, the Quintanella's life took a turn. Have you ever heard one of Selena's songs? I have. I like Bitty Bitty Bom Bom and Como la Flor. Corpus Christi, Texas, 1983. Times were tough in America. Jobs were had to come by. People had less money to eat in restaurants. Papayas closed, sadly. The small house in Lake Jackson included the fortunate was sold to pay bills. The family moved to Corpus Christi, Texas. They rented a house in a middle-class neighborhood where many Taínos lived for Selena. Everything changed except making music, but now it became a better way for her family to earn a living. We had no other alternative to make money, which alternative means no other choice. Selena said, with her as a main attraction, the band took the name Selena while Los Dinos, Selena and the Boys. Selena tried to look older than her 12 years. She wore makeup and flashy homemade clothes, but only on stage. At home, she was just like another kid, although maybe more sheltered than most because Abraham was very strict. In any case, there was a little time for socializing, since Selena was often busy rehearsing or performing. So that's Selena on her bed, rehearsing the music, listening to the music. You see, she likes makeup, touring the countryside. Most gigs or bookings took place on the weekends. Everyone from extra musicians to the family dog traveled in an old van together. Every time we turned, I rode out to see Selena said, laughing. Money was still tight for the Quinceañeras. The family traveled from town to town, either sleeping in their van or expensive motels. The money earned went to buy food from the road stands. You have to take what you can get. And when you're getting started, Selena said, we ate lots of hamburgers and shared everything. If only a handful of people came to watch the band still play their best. Those people had paid and they deserved a good show. The language challenge. On the road, Abraham noticed that many people asked for Tejano music, also called Tex-Mex. Like the Tejano people, Tejano or Tex-Mex music has a character all its own, and is sung in Spanish, which is a problem for the Quinceañeras children who were born and raised in the U.S. They understood language, but didn't speak it well, and the band would succeed. Selena had to learn to at least sing in Spanish. I can't, papi, she complained. I don't know what all the words mean. Abraham wrote down the words sounded, and Selena memorized them. Soon she was singing in Spanish with lots of feeling and no American accent. The audience was convinced she knew what she was saying. No place for a girl. As a girl lead singer, Selena faced another obstacle in the Taino tradition. Performance had always been male. Some places refused to book the band. People told my father we would never make it, Selena said. I wanted to prove them wrong. Selena's brother A.B. learned much about composing and arranging music. He began writing new Taino songs with a more modern beat. Young fans, especially girls, loved the fun dance stuff Selena created. Long distance school. In 1985, Selena y Los Dinos recorded their first album with a small Texas company radio station and liked it. And the band got new gigs, but this created another problem. Selena was only 9 years old. Traveling meant that she often missed school. The family couldn't afford to pass up bookings, so Selena had to leave school in eighth grade. Right away, she enrolled in long distance classes, studying while on the road. Everyone pitched in to help with the lessons. Television success. In 1985, Selena y Los Dinos was also invited to be on a Friends television show. The band's lively new Taino rhythm and flashy outfits was a success, and it brought booking at more important events. Still, much as money went to pay equipment and travel. Whenever we have left, divided equally. If we got $5 or $10, Selena said, we could go to Whataburger. Hallway pays off, right? You have to keep going and going and going, and it will eventually pay off. Off stage, in her spare time, Selena decorated her costumes with pearls, rhinestones, and lace. Some of her often showed off the figure at first. Her dad was not happy. The music of Selena while Dino celebrated family values, Abraham didn't approve of drinking, drugs, or bad language. He didn't want his daughter giving a wrong impression. People like to see fancy costumes in shows, Papi, Selena assumed him. They know who I really am on the inside. On stage, Selena led a quiet life. At the performance, she stayed in the band's new bus, nicknamed Big Bertha, sewing or studying or working on songs. She wasn't a typical teen. There was no school dances or football games. She was never went out on dates. Her life was all about making music. I never had the opportunity to associate with anybody my own age, she said. Her friends were her family, band members, and people involved with her performances. A rising star chance to shine. Selena's first big recognition came in 1986. The band was normalized for Tejano music, awarded to the important prize, although they didn't win. Selena, age 15, won Female Vocalist of the Year. Wow. She went on to win this and many other awards this year. The Tino girl led Selena's had proven everyone wrong. Her star was on a rise. Always believed that impossible is possible. Became one of her favorite things. In 1988, Coca-Cola wanted to make a commercial featuring Latinos. An executive invited several famous performers to record, but after Selena's audition, it was decided she would do it alone. The ad recorded in English and Spanish versions shows Selena's talent of TV audience across America. At 17, Selena was a lovely young woman, proud of her Hispanic heritage and her appearance. She wanted other Latino girls to feel good about their looks too. Her personality is also impressed those she worked with. She was wonderful and everybody she remembered their names and went out and hugged them, an executive said. Soon after, Selena While Los Dinos was offered a big recording contract, the band turned a string of hit songs. Crowd flocked their concerts still with the new techno sounds and flashing lights, but the main attraction was always Selena's huge personality. Fans called her the Queen of Tex-Mex, which was the beginning of the book of why they call her Queen of Tex-Mex, Selena. Selena was disappointed. Be at your best at all times was her motto. Chris Perez. In 1989, a young musician named Chris Perez joined Los Dinos. He and Selena fell in love. Abraham thought Selena was too young for a serious boyfriend, but for the first time in her life, Selena was obsessed of her father's wishes. She married Chris in 1992. As time passed, Abraham realized Selena had chosen well and welcomed Chris into the family. Fans across the border. Tejano music hadn't been very popular in Mexico before Selena, but her fame grew. Fans there flocked and bands sold out in concerts. Mexican newspapers, radio stations, and TV shows wanted to interview Selena. Selena had worked hard on her Spanish. It was good enough for singing, but was it good enough for interviews? In 1992, Selena arrived in Mexico to face 35 reporters, all eager to ask questions. She flashed the group a dazzling smile. She hugged each of the writers. When she made a mistake, she giggled. Kiki, people accused my Spanish, she said. She was trying too hard to learn the language of her songs, the language of her ancestors. The, the reporters appreciated Selena's honest and effort. They found her to be a refreshing change from other stars. Selena was clearly one of their own, brown and proud, an artist of people. One newspaper wrote Selena was truly an international celebrity. International means special. Giving back. Selena never forgot her early struggles and those of her family. She began to reach out to the community, especially children, visiting schools and speaks out against drugs and praised the value of education. She gave money from her concerts to many charity organizations. Selena wanted to help young people achieve their dreams. She also focused on her dreams as well. Why does Selena like teaching? I think she liked the teaching because, like she said, she never forgot her early struggles. More success. Selena loved designing clothes. Why not open a shop to sell her creations? In 1994, the Selena etc. store opened in Corpus Christi, followed by another in San Antonio, Texas. Both were successful In fact, 1994 was a year filled with success. The song Bitty Bitty Bum Bum with Selena helped write became wildly popular. The catchy tone was constantly played on the radio. Then in March, her album Lived was named Best Mexican American Album in 1994 Grammy Awards. It was the first time in the Tejano woman ever achieved such as a huge honor. Of course, Selena was very excited, but she was excited to be among many big stars named. She was very snapping photos of nice big winners, including Whitney Houston and Gloria Estefan. Singing in English, Selena had loved American pop songs as far back as her little girl days, singing Blue Moon in the living room for years. Performance would be often. Selena while Los Dinos contracts they thought audience might not listen to Latino group performance of American music. It was different now. Selena already had thousands of Spanish-speaking fans. The Grammy Awards. Get attention for the rest of America wanted to be entertainer for all audience. Selena began to work on crossover album. It was a bittersweet decision. Selena was going to be a solo singer. A.B. Chris and other band members will help produce the music. But from then on out, it would be Selena While Los Dinos anymore. By early 1955, Selena was recorded several songs in English. When the album Dreaming of You released in July 1995, it sold 1,750 copies in single days, a record for a female singer. Eventually, millions of copies were sold around the world. Selena's gift. People who met Selena's questioners described her as a sincere, humble, and gracious. She classed by herself. One person said, a reminder to all Tajinos, all Mexican Americans, all Latinos, and their beautiful culture with a beautiful language. Selena was a trailblazer. Her brilliant success opened doors for other Latino entertainers. She provided that talent and hard work would overcome obstacles and knock down barriers. She set off example for many young artists to follow. Selena's life has several of the inspiration for Latino girls. She was a symbol of power and family determination and pride in one heritage. Her life is a reminder to all girls with big dreams can strive for each other's goals no matter who they are and what their goals may be. The Queen of Tex-Mex lived her idea of being at all best at all times and provided the impossible is indeed possible. The end. So, did you like this book? I feel like this book was a very good book. Very good book. And I feel like Selena achieved a lot of things. What's your favorite song by her? And would you like to do music one day? What would you like to be when you get older? And that was the end of the book by Selena. Bye.